Hey, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another install video. My name is JP and this is Wander to Get Lost. Alright, so this should be a quick install video of the Jeep tow wiring harness that you need to flat tow your vehicle. There's a bunch of different ones out on the market. There's ones that consist of using diodes that you have to tap into your electrical system. I decided not to go that route if for whatever reason we sell the Jeep down the line, or I want just to be able to pull this out easily if we don't flat tow the Jeep anymore. So I went with a plug and play system. Let me show you real quick. It's actually made by Hopkins. It's the towed vehicle wiring kit, and this one is made specifically for Jeeps. It's number 56200, and I got this off of Amazon. I think it was like 49 bucks. I'll link it down below. But so far, I was reading through the directions and I was just going over the wiring and everything. It looks really simple. So this is the whole harness setup. Basically, it has a brain that you're gonna hide behind your driver's side rear taillight. Then this is then gonna connect to the taillight harness, plug back into the taillight, and then you're gonna route this color down over to your passenger side, do the same thing with that taillight. Then you're gonna route this green, yellow, and brown wiring all the way to the front of your Jeep. You have a 4-pin connector, and then it comes with this little box that you it's like a clamshell. It is a clamshell, and you just pop this in here. You're gonna mount this onto your bumper. It's got a little cover so it keeps it protected. Mount this onto your bumper so that way then you can 4-pin connect to your connector on your RV, and then it should activate your turn signals and your brake lights along with the RV signals. So that's the biggest thing, is your Jeep as a tow vehicle. When you signal with your RV, your signals on your Jeep also have to go on, so that way people know you're changing lanes, obviously. It also has a ground. The ground seems pretty short. I'm probably going to splice this and run it up into the area where I normally ground all my accessories, so I might have to modify this a little bit. I really don't want to tap into somewhere else on the frame or anything like that. So it looks pretty simple. The hardest part is probably just going to be running this all the way to the front of the Jeep. I do have the rock lights already kind of like run along the frame, so this shouldn't be hard. I'm probably going to follow that. So it also comes, they give you a bunch of zip ties, they give you the screws to secure this, and they give you some terminal grease to lube up these connections, so that way you don't want these to corrode. So as long as you keep them lubricated each time you cover them, that way the water won't penetrate and, you know, corrode these connections, because you don't want to have to deal with that. So as you already probably saw, I removed my lights. That's simple. It's 4 screws. You just pull them out, and now the first thing the directions say is to start on the driver's side. That's where we're going to connect this setup right here. It's the main setup coming off the diode converter. Then this is all going to tuck behind that light, and then we're going to run this down and then run this to the front of the frame. For anybody who doesn't know, if you have a Jeep Wrangler and you've never installed anything, below this driver's side taillight, it's really just a piece of foam that sits down there, but it's completely empty, and that's where I've run a lot of my accessory lines through there. So if you've seen some of our other install videos on the rock lights and a bunch of other stuff, even like the CB radios, you can run through behind there and down under the frame to run like your antenna wires and stuff like that, if you wanted to do and put them in different positions. All right, so that's enough jib jabbering. Let's start installing this. It should be rather simple. Fingers crossed. And then after it's all installed, obviously you're gonna bring it over to the back of the RV and test it out and make sure everything works. All right, so let's get to it. Here we go. All right, so just quick, you can see here's all my rock light connectors. So they're all tucked in there. Here's the connector for the taillight assembly. Now we're just gonna pop this guy out. Might have to give a play to wiggle it out. This little thing is right here. There we go, that's it. So that pops off. All right, so you really can't mess this up because obviously this is your female, this is your male side. So it's female off here. Actually, I'm sorry, this is male off here, so that's going to go into the female side. Click. And then this one is going to go connect into here. Like so. So that's it, that side's done. Now we're just going to loosen this, and I'm going to run this down and along the back of the frame. I'll show you underneath, but there is a heat shield where the muffler, where the muffler is, so you want to be above that heat shield. All right, so that's through. Let me show you. All right, so I don't know if you can see, but it basically comes out right under here. So that's that, and you can see some of the rock lights here. Actually, got to be zip tied a little better. All right, so we're gonna run this now across there over the heat shield. It's pretty much where I have a lot of the rock lights running as well. I'm gonna just follow that and bring this into the taillight. All right, so I had to do some investigating. Here in the passenger side, there's this whole big block of foam that's down here, and it's completely sealed off. So I used the biggest size bit I got right now, unfortunately, with me is a 1-inch bit. So underneath there's this little plastic here, so I just drilled through that to open it up. So now this will pass through. And then once I'm done with this, I'm going to probably run to the hardware store or Home Depot and get a foam sealer and seal this up, so that way there won't be any problems once this is through. So now let's go look at the inside. And you can see there it is trying to poke its head through that foam. So yeah. All right, so just be wary of that. The passenger side, there's no easy pass through, so you're gonna have to modify that. So not a big deal. I just took some time just to investigate and make sure I was doing it correctly. So that should work for you. All right, let's connect this up, and then we're gonna start running the harness to the front. Remember, I have some wire loom. I'm actually going to wire loom underneath the Jeep and zip tie everything together. So I'm going to do that first, and then I'm going to tidy up the wires. Then we'll run the green to the front. So let's do that. I'll show you that when it's done. All right, quick little recap. Here's the passenger side. So that's all done. I'm going to close this up, and then I'm actually going to spray foam from the underneath. Because I actually have to drive this to the hardware store. So I'm gonna button this one up. This one is all set, so I'm just gonna have to tuck this. This is the brain that goes in back here. I've run now this cord in the same spot, so we're gonna run this now to the front of the Jeep. So let's put these back on, and then we're gonna run that cord. I ran the green cord, but everything's still loose because I'm actually gonna pull the excess back into the rear taillight. So I ran it down here, I followed along the frame. All right, there's bushes. I'm gonna end up zip tying under here. You can see it comes here. This is one of my rock lights, so I'm gonna zip tie and pull it behind here. I ran behind the shock mount area. And then I actually opened my hood just so I could get my hand down there. And then it comes over here, right here along the frame, and then goes underneath. I'll be zip tying that. And then I've mounted it here. So it looks pretty good. And I'm just gonna now pull all the excess back, zip tie it, and then run this new ground. So I'll show you that when I'm done. Here it is mounted. I put some wire loom on it, connected it with the wires for the breakaway. Here's the ground that I spliced. Put a butt connector on that, and then I ran it up here, and then I ran it to my battery, so it's to my negative. All right, so here at the back, I took the tail light back off on the driver's side, so you can see I pulled all the excess back in here. So I'm just gonna now stuff all this back in here, and that will be that. So next step will be to hook it up to the RV, test the blinkers, and make sure it works. So, all right, we're gonna do that, I guess, in a little bit. All right, what's up, everybody? I had to run to Pep Boys, and I'll show you what I had to get because I lost my 7-pin to 4-pin connector. So 7-pin to 4-pin connector here. I got an extension which is too short, but I'm just testing it right now, and I do have this amount of wire which I'm gonna splice in to extend it, which should be fine. And now the RV right light is blinking, and you can see the Jeep light is right turn signal is also blinking. So we are good. So it's showing the rear tail light, and then I'll switch it to the left. All right, my left one is blinking. All right, so that's good. And there you can see the tail light of the RV is blinking left as well. Everything works. I'm gonna go back and splice up those wires, and yeah, make it a little longer, and then I guess we're gonna size it out with the tow bar in place and make sure everything is good. All right, woo, excited. A little longer than I thought, but I'll talk about everything in the recap. All right, cool. All right, real quick, so this is what I did. I just spliced right here where that connector was. I used that extension piece that I had, so it just connects down here. So I can disconnect these guys, leave this here if I wanted to, or just pull the whole assembly off everything, and it's fine. So yeah, this actually works out really well. All right, so that's it for this installation. Everything went really well. Just take your time when you're routing your wire from the back taillights all the way to the front. And again, you saw on the passenger side taillight, you have to drill up through that plastic piece on the bottom. So those are some key takeaways. Also, just a reminder, it's number 56200. We have a 2016 JKU 4-door Wrangler, so there was plenty of line to reach the front, so don't worry about that. Just pull the excess back into the taillight. The other thing I had to get again was 7-blade to a 4-blade. I got this at Pep Boys. I just ran over there. I'll try and find this on Amazon in case you need it as well. I also got the 4-flat to 4-flat extension. Unfortunately, this was only 4 feet, so 48 inches. It wasn't enough, so I showed you I spliced in that extra addition piece that I had. So all in all, not a bad install. We're now totally legal with flat towing for when we start tomorrow and heading down south to Key West. Our first stop is going to be in Washington, D.C., so it's going to be hopefully 5 hours to get down there, and hopefully everything goes smoothly. It's our first time really now flat towing, so yeah, I think we're all set. One thing, I got to modify our flat tow bumper with the special adapters for our front bumper, so maybe you'll see that in another video. All right, so if this video helped you, please hit the thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, and thank you so much for watching this video. Really do appreciate it. And yeah, We'll see you on the next video.